in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This is the scene just before we came on air. This New York crowd fired up by the arrival of their G-men as they burst from the locker room. They're ready to go as the Giants get set to match up with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. This is taken at the 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. First down throw for Bridgewater. Flushed, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
You see me? You see me?
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack.
Hey, watch it, watch it.
The throw to the left side caught by Coleman. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this weekend
pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Derek Barnett able to maneuver in for the sack. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. Wentz now on 1st down. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on a sack.
All right, partner, I'm going to be Captain Obvious right here. Not the start you're looking for offensively, right? Incomplete pass, followed by a sack.
And when he went down, it looked like that right ankle got turned, but thankfully he popped up okay, and they breathed a sigh of relief on that sideline. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
Hey, echo.
On 1st down, Wentz. It's complete. It's Sproles. And he's got this down to the 35. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wentz. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Hey, 4 down. Mike's 47.
Sunday.
Now Wentz. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Jabril Peppers, a former 1st-round pick, there on the coverage. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Working from the gun, Wentz. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up fourth down.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth. To throw is Wentz. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That pickup goes for 25. What a flip of the script from fourth down to first. From the red zone now, Wentz. Trying to get it to Jackson, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. And he'll take this back all the way up past the 45-yard line.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best. To never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Bridgewater now. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes.
You better talk to your boy. You better talk to your boy. I'm going to protect you.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their third one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
Apparently, they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
A 4-yard pickup that gets them going forward, but still 15 yards left on third down.
Hey, tight. Watch left, watch left, watch left.
From the gun, Bridgewater throwing deep here for Coleman. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again. Just like last week, each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
The Eagles offense making their way back out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And the division title out of reach, we know that. This is as good a spot, Charles, as they're going to get. That first wild card and the number 5 overall seed.
So it's just a matter of adjusting now, isn't it? And what I mean by that is mentally. Every team starts the season thinking, let's go for the number 1 seed, right? Being the top team. Number 2 is pretty great, too, because you get the opening bye, and you're at home after that. But it doesn't matter at this point. Just getting in, and you just sit down and talk to your team. Would you rather go on the road and deal with someone, or would you rather stay at home for the playoffs? Let's go on the road and go take someone out.
And with a play clock at 3, we'll get a signal and a timeout on the whistle. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. Wentz off the fake handoff to Howard. And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack. Dexter Lawrence in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
what's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. They fake the give. Now Wentz. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Alec Ogletree in there for the sack on what will be the final play of this first quarter.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Start of the second quarter, and it's the Eagles in possession as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. Wentz now to throw. Looking for Aguilar, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find the spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
Gallman will run it. And he will take it all in for a giant touchdown. Wayne Gallman, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. A nice tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. This one taken from the 7. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Eagles offense making their way back out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And you can see they're in 2nd place in the division, but they have clinched postseason football. They have the best record among the wild card contenders, but you never really feel comfortable when you're down around that 5 or 6 slot, do you?
No, you don't. You figure you've got to close the deal. You've got to make sure you clinch that spot to make sure you keep your place in the tournament, in the playoffs. But the other part, too, is the coaching staff. All year they've talked about getting a high seed, clinching home field. Now that talk changes to, hey, we're in. That's all that matters. Let's go on the road and take care of business.
Here's Wentz to throw. Ertz over the middle. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Shotgun now for Wentz. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Jabril Peppers, the former first-round pick, there on the coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Again, it's Wentz. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Right side caught by Jackson. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel good.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current.
Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Derek Barnett in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. 3rd and long now after the sack, and we'll see if Bridgewater has a response. Here's Bridgewater. He'll air this one toward Coleman, and that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So instead of 4th down, 1st down.
Well, so much for winning the down you put a lot of emphasis on, because 3rd down is key for offense and defense. Instead, you're going to stay on the field and start a new set of downs.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. It'll be a gain of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. To throw, Bridgewater. Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. The 40, 20, 10. And he will not get all the way home, but he will take this back down to about the 2-yard line.
And whatever happened to the days of just getting a fumble recovery? Everyone's into taking it the other way and trying to create points themselves, aren't they?
Well, they are, and now a terrific opportunity inside the 5. The defense gets him the ball via the turnover. Now can this offense... And he's in! Front Eagles touchdown! Jordan Howard hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Well, they got the ball in great field position. 1 play later, boom, end zone. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. 13 games going on here in this final Sunday of 2019, the final Sunday of the regular season. 3 more games still to come following us. Raiders, Broncos, Cards, Rams, and Niners, Seahawks. And then we'll know the 12 teams who will continue on into the playoffs starting next Saturday here on EA Sports. They go play action here on 1st down. Out left, Allison's got it. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Rhett Ellison, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Giants have taken the lead. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just 1 play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
Let's go.
Jordan Howard and the rest of the offense heading back out there. You can count his carries on 1 finger. They've only given him the rock 1 time, Charles. What gives?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch the ball multiple times in order to get into a rhythm and have a chance to have success. You know who else gets into a rhythm? The offensive line. They feel better about what they're doing when they know they've had multiple opportunities to get it done.
Yeah, well, the conclusion we can draw so far, they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. Let's see if they change tunes. Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. They were trying to create some space to run. They created the penalty.
And you work on it so much. You work on it so hard. But it's tough to simulate game speed in practice. And that often runs you into a penalty.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They trail a one-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. On the give, running right is Howard. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter, 14-7. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Wentz. He'll hit Jackson, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one covers 29 yards, 1st down.
Okay, what can't Deshaun Jackson do? All right, we know about the catches. We just saw another one there. Also gets involved in the return game, and he can break big plays like that. We've seen him do it throughout his NFL career.
We have. What are you thinking of anything in particular?
Yeah, I'm still remembering a certain Giants punter not following orders, and Deshaun Jackson made that big-time return all the way back for a game winner in that one. I still remember seeing the looks of disbelief on the Giants sideline.
And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Howard. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, and you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Kareem Martin in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. So we've come upon, there you have it. Halftime quickly over. 3rd quarter, here we go. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. This one fielded at the 5. But he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Philadelphia. He goes 95 yards to the house on the kick return, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. And people still trying to get back to their seats from the concession stand here at the start of the 3rd quarter, and boom, we got points on the board.
And you just identified why the bulk of stadiums have increased presence in the concession areas, right? TVs, loudspeakers, so people can still follow the game. And right now, they're bummed out that they missed that big return to start this half.
So all square here in this 3rd quarter as the kick's away. Far from Teddy Bridgewater. What can they do now, Charles, to make sure this highlight montage doesn't continue to show more pressure and pressure and pressure?
You feel like it always comes back to leverage, don't you? Who is going to win that battle of the offensive and defensive lines? Low man wins. We talk about that, but we think about it in a running game. Well, guess what? The same thing happens when you're trying to pass protect. Are you low? Are you balanced? Are you in a position where the pass rush won't bowl you over on their way back to the quarterback? They've got to reestablish that in order to try and keep their man upright.
Because they have been bowled over a lot so far in this one. And the drive starts with a completion left side. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. First play of the drive going for 14 and a 1st down. Bridgewater on 1st down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Derek Barnett getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Bridgewater to throw it. Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. If you got to find a good balance, carrying it firmly, yet at the same time under control.
And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. And a nice gain of 21 yards. On first and goal, Howard. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score one touchdown, you're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got one, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
Trying to punch it in with Howard. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. This is 3rd and goal. And this Giants defense, they have withstood the test thus far. They'll try to run for it with Howard. And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Jordan Howard with touchdown number 2 in the game, and now 11 on the year. As his guys are able to regain the lead. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And New York set to take the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a
under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Derek Barnett. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Another try after the first down sack. Bridgewater. Russell Shepard, the intended receiver. 3rd down here.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Zach Brown making his presence felt in the backfield. 3rd and long, defense with no fear. They brought the pressure.
Zero fear at all. That means they feel really good about the guys who are going to cover. But the biggest one is they think their pressure will get there before he has a chance to find an open receiver.
He'll take it a few steps in front of the 50. That'll be a 43-yard punt, but a net of just 33 following a 10-yard return. And the Eagles will have great starting field position here as they take over. Deshaun Jackson getting set to go again on offense. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well. At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. He'll pick up another first down with that run.
Throwing on first is Wentz. That's caught by Jackson. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and you can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good hit.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A 16-yard touchdown run. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now, no question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, it's got him in the lead. Elliott good on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And finishing it off with a touchdown run was Jordan Howard. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And New York set to take the field. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Here we go.
First down, Bridgewater. To Shepard, complete over the middle. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. A lot of people thinking that this could be a good year for Sterling Shepard to step out of the shadows of Odell Beckham Jr. But a season ago, pretty good for Sterling Shepard. 66 receptions, 872 yards, and now hoping for a 1,000-yard campaign in 2019. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Throwing, Bridgewater. And his throw is going to be incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard, and it's 3rd and short.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Now Bridgewater looks to throw, fires right side, and that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
I would dare say that these guys would have liked to have given their defense a little bit more rest since they gave up a touchdown their last time out. But alas, my man, that's not going to happen.
Yep, they're going to have to grab those helmets, get right back out there. Jordan Howard and the rest of the offense heading back out there. He's had a good 3rd quarter. He likes whatever adjustments were made at halftime, whether those were team adjustments or just him talking to himself.
And whatever that conversation was, it was pretty good because he is running really well here in the 3rd quarter. But I like to think it is a team adjustment. Offensive line, those big escorts of his, they figured out how to block a little bit better, and he's found those holes to run through.
He has indeed. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, it's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time one right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense that's playing so well.
Well, they are clicking right now. Again, it's Pumphrey. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. They'll run it now with Pumphrey. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 31 yards there and a first down. One thing that's great about watching him run, Charles, he doesn't hesitate. He got to the left side of his O-line and just went.
So there's two ways to look at that. One, just absolutely unconcerned, just takes off and goes. But more the latter, I think, which is he has absolute confidence in the guys in front of him, the guys doing the blocking for him. He just takes it and goes with abandon.
Tackle made there by Jabril Peppers. Another run with Sanders. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there, and now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Great 15, great 15. Hey, wahoo!
Now they'll throw it. Wentz. Dancing to his left. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off at the 15. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Fletcher Cox, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
Now that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football, led to a sack, and that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Bridgewater, throw over the middle into the hands of the tight end Ellison. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Bridgewater now looking to throw on 1st. Completes it to Ellison to the right side. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Bridgewater, and he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 yards there and a first down. To throw is Bridgewater. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Brandon Graham in there to take him down, and the clock will roll.
Exactly what they were looking for. They've been giving up yardage. They've been letting them drive right downfield, but they got a sack right there. How about that for a little bit of revenge?
The Giants on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 15. From the gun, Bridgewater. And down he goes. The pressure getting to Bridgewater. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Now Bridgewater on 4th down. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Derek Barnett, and the Eagles are going to take over in great field position. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? But Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
It's just me and you.
On the run, it's Pumphrey. He'll get the 1st down and more inside the 20. And finally, wrestled down at the 11. Now the Giants will use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game.
There we go, Pac-Man. Waiting. Full goal. Big stop, G. Big stop. Let's go.
They run with Pumphrey. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. The Giants going to burn their 3rd and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. They'll run here with Pumphrey. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3. He's still in search of his first rushing touchdown of the year, but not on that play.
I just wonder if he has some frustration starting to build a little bit because he hasn't get.
And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
This is taken at the 3. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete, as time has run out on this football game. So it's a victory here for the Philadelphia Eagles, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better, and that got it done.